Hello and welcome to this final session of our little Eberron series. I do plan on coming back to this, but this is our first arc here. We're playing Eberron with the Dungeons & Dragons 5e. This session is part of the Gauntlet Gaming Calendar, which is an online claiming club / community. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. This session is played using a set of layered safety tools, which our players are all familiar with, but you may hear us mention lines and veils or the X card or those kinds of things. Recognize that we use those for all the sessions that we play on the Gauntlet. In terms of tools that we're using, we are playing using Roll20. So you may hear us refer to that. And we've also got an NPC sort of a keeper sheet with pictures and stuff so people can rely on that. Last time, our PCs made their way into the subcog depths here in ancient sealed off areas underneath Sharn. And they had been looking for a spell, essentially a mage finder by the name of Bashalak, and tracked him down here and found that Bashalak had been killed, which left Bashalak's person that he had brought along, this person with the strange dragon mark, by the name of Typhoon, sorry, not Typhoon, but Yabnavi, left her kind of in a lurch. What you've arrived in the middle of is a archaeological expedition that is digging for spell bombs. It's led by a pair of our Warforged, but there's a financier elf, there's a disgruntled mage, there's some workers there, there's a dwarf security person, there's some goblins, and there's this other person with the weird dragon mark named Nudiria, who the Warforged are keeping close by them. There's some digging going on down into the depths of this place, and the expedition itself doesn't seem to have that much of a care for exactly what happened to Bashalak. They have other things on their table, and you have the sense that maybe some people aren't too worried that somebody offed him. You were able to discover a cache of goodies, loot, that Bashalak had managed to thieve from the perimeter of this site that you pocketed for yourselves. And I think we divvied those out, right? So people have those things. So the question is, what's going on? What's going on with Bashalak? What's going on with this spell bomb? Maybe who killed Bashalak? But also what's going on with these people with the strange dragon tattoos, as it were. Right now, your particular little camp is made up of yourselves, the three of you, plus the Navi, who you kind of negotiated for surety for her, and also Crux, who has stuck around and who's been pretty equanimous, has pretty good about you guys going off and talking about yourselves. We are missing, of course, one of our characters today who wasn't able to make it. So Zed is going to be kind of off to the side, and that's the person who there's a little bit of tension between Crux and Zed, and a different tension between Kiri and Crux, as we discovered last time. So we're going to take up, you've gone out, you've tracked down this set of goods, and we're going to assume that you've kind of fallen back to the little campsite that you've got set up at the edge of the encampment. Things have been divvied out, and this is happening probably, again, there's no day-night cycle here, but they're reading it as it's probably now late afternoon, and you'll hear the workmen, the excavators and stuff down in those tunnels. they stayed away from some of the areas, and they did get delayed a little bit by a stink cloud that was left there, but they're still continuing on. So let's kind of take up with the three of you talking about, like, how do you want to play this now? And you've got some loot, you could just leave, or there's more stuff to be had here potentially.
The other thing that so it's been a couple weeks, so I may not be remembering this correctly, but I thought we had some concern about the well-being of those laborers, in that this is a thing that nobody really should know about, and we were concerned that maybe when it was all over, they might pay them in steel rather than than silver.
You've definitely got some real concerns that the expedition may cut away a set of witnesses here.
And so those goblin workers are another thing on our plate that we need to be concerned about. That I think, I mean, that if Sajara Dabra has anything to say about it, we are not just going to abandon them to their fate.
So, and we'll assume that Crux and Abnavi are there sitting in on the conversation, and Crux seems like nods, like, okay, maybe a little bit surprised, but like, okay. So what do you want to do? She says.
I'm wondering if I could use a plot point at this stage, Lowell.
Sure.
I'll throw out my idea out there and you can tell me if it works, but
sure.
I'm wondering if maybe Typhoon was also at the Winarn Mage Academy during part of the time when I was there. Maybe like I didn't really necessarily know her, but as I'm seeing her and thinking, like, where do I know her from? And suddenly
she was a senior when you were a freshman. And
yeah, exactly.
Like I saw her on campus, but we never really got to say hello to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's fair. You know that you've got some common ground now that you've had a chance to see her working and see when she works with her sigils and stuff. You're like, okay, yeah, I recognize the techniques. I've definitely seen her before. I probably know some people that she knows.
Yeah. And I think we've established that maybe Rotung didn't go to many of his classes. So that could be, he maybe doesn't know her as well as he would have.
Sure. I think that's absolutely fair. Okay. Do you share that with the group? How do you distribute that information?
Yeah, I think I will. I mean, I think I'll just mention to, hey, Sajara Dabra, I noticed that you were talking to that mage over there that they have in their employ.
Yes.
And even from where I was standing, I could pick up the resentment was palpable, but it did not seem like it was directed at you.
At least not that I could tell. She seems to feel her abilities are not being used sufficiently.
Well, I recall her from Windarn Academy, and she may have a point. I think she was far more studious than I ever was. I wonder what happened that would bring her to this kind of work. I feel like she should be doing something much more above board, but
I'm neither skilled nor educated in matters arcane and was not really able to discuss the specifics of with her. Perhaps you could broach the subject.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe she could let us know a little more about what the plan is here and what they intend for the rest of the workers, as well as any background on Nodiria. Would be great. How did two Warforged come to be giving orders to her?
Well, how about this? Let's play that scene out, and then let's come around to Kiri and Sajara, and see what you're investigating. So Ratung, how do you approach Typhoon? This is probably late in the day, where Typhoon has finished their shift. They've come back up. They're going through their books again. They're reloading their component trays. How do you do this?
Yeah, I will go up to them. I'm imagining that maybe they have some little beverage. We'll just go with the tea theme.
Yeah.
Maybe that they are drinking some tea as they're going through their things. And I will just walk up with holding out my dagger in sort of a non-threatening way like this. And I'll just ask her, do you want me to, can I show you a trick?
Okay. It's clearly a little on the defensive there. Okay.
Yeah, so I will just lightly dip the end of that kind of tongue-shaped blade of the dagger into the tea and just flavor it with a little bit of sweetness and the essence of bergamot. And I'll pull the dagger back out and I'll say, let's see if that improves the flavor. I could have a taste first if you want.
That would be, I think, probably the better idea. And she'll hand the cup over to you and let you drink. I think the thing that will strike you is it still smells like this, like essentially the equivalent of Sharn Lipton's that's been done through the thing a couple of times. It still has that smell, but when you taste it, it has that taste. It just doesn't carry any of the fragrance.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. I'll take a sip and that is the best cup of tea I've had in a while.
And she'll take that back and she'll drink it. And she just look down and she's like, all right. That's not a cantrip I'm familiar with.
Oh no, it's useful little culinary tool I've come across here. Much better than anything they served in the dining halls at the academy, isn't it? And I'll kind of like gesture to my face, like, yeah, do you remember me?
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't you have you were one of those scholarship kids?
That's right. I regret to say I didn't make as good on that opportunity as I might have, but I found my niche in the world. Bretung, by the way. I don't know if you were remembering that, but
no, I didn't remember your name.
Yeah.
Did you drop out?
I did. Yeah.
You get somebody paying for your school and you dropped out.
Yeah. I know. It was a different time. I was a different person then. We learn from our mistakes, we grow. But what about you? I mean, I remember you were always, I think you were a top student, weren't you?
I was, I held a rank. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, somebody that really a lot of ability, a lot of expertise. Jimmy, you were going places.
I went places and now I'm here.
Well, what? Yeah. Tell me about that.
All right. So what do you think you want to roll here for this? Does this feel like a kind of deception? Or is it a persuasion or something else? And I'm going to give you a circumstance bonus because you spent a point to kind of set up this connection. So I'm going to give you a +4 circumstance bonus.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it could be deception or persuasion. Like either way, for me, it's just going to be a straight up charisma check, just because I don't have those proficiencies,
Yeah.
But
so you're rolling with a +6 then, right?
Sure, +6. Okay. All right, 8, well, plus 4 more, so 12.
So what is the, like, she'll talk with you for a bit. Like, what is the thing that you want to wheedle out of her the most? Like, what is the question that you really have, you think?
It's not a question so much as a sort of attitude that I want to bring out of just sort of like reestablishing and re-emphasizing
Okay.
that this is sort of like below her station, and she shouldn't owe a lot of loyalty to these people who don't seem to appreciate
You put a little,
who they have here.
a little burr in her wizard's hat.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. There's definitely a little agitation there. I think when you're done with that conversation, reminding her of who she could have been and whatnot, and definitely get the sense that she may be a little more, how do I put this, forthright of demanding what's hers or what she's owed. Does that seem fair?
That seems very fair.
Carrie, let's come back to you. Ratung heads off at talking with Typhoon there, sort of in the late afternoon, early evening. What do you want to do? Who do you want to talk to? What do you want to investigate?
I'm of two minds on this. So here's what I'd really like to do. But
Okay.
if this derails where we want to go here, but I think she wants to explore this little green crystal that she got. She hasn't really had a chance to, like, maybe she will kind of like drift away into a quiet place somewhere where she's alone and do whatever she did before to see if, to understand better what, because she kind of like did it and then was like, whoa, and didn't really spend any time doing what she was doing.
Sure. Let's have you roll insight.
Okay. My goodness gracious.
Or Arcana, insight or Arcana.
I think there's an insight roll coming through. It's just a little delayed.
Yeah. Let's see here. So I think that you will drift into this crystal, and you can see that you've seen some words and messages around, and you kind of look and drift in and realize that there is like some kind of, I must say, like a virtual machine that's happening here, that you're seeing operating in here, like some kind of like lock or combinatorics or something that's in there that somebody is playing with, that somebody else is in this space and is playing with. And you'll realize, I think with that 20, that this is connected to at least 3 other people's minds. That this shard space is a shared space for at least 3 other people, like a secure communications. And your natural 20 attunement, you also realize you overcame just by pure instinct and bardic wit the essentially defenses and cryptography of this place to enter into this realm here.
Okay, so I can, so is it, do do I hear things? I mean, you said there's messages. Is it
So
something
here's the
that-
thing. Here's the question. You can see that there are these persons and these messages and voices there, but you kind of have to actively reach out and take them and
Okay.
interact with that. So there is a chance of maybe alerting somebody if you do that, but you could give it a try.
Okay.
Or you're more interested in like figuring out who's attached here.
Yeah, I think now that I know what I know, I think I think she may not be able to resist trying to reach out and see one of these messages that are floating by.
All right. Let's have you roll me. This is gonna be just a fate die. Just roll me a d20.
Okay. All right.
So you'll pick out one of these
We wanted
messages.
low, right?
Yeah, that's mid-range. So not great, but not bad. I think you will pick out someone saying a message comes through and there's no voice to it because you're kind of just taking the messages, and it says, if these new people are allies of Bashalak, we need to be wary of them. They may also be thieves.
Okay. Okay. I don't think she's going to be able to resist trying to go deeper. I think that's kind of
Let's have you roll me a d20 again.
I just feel true to who she is. I think she would just be like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Straight in the middle. I think the next message that you grab is, our changeling associate has not checked in. I have not seen their pattern in the gem. Do you think these persons killed them?
Um,
Other messages in here, maybe have to kind of swim a little closer to these persons.
Yeah. I I think Carrie would like to try to imitate and pretend that she is the changeling and try to talk to them and say something and try to get a little more information.
Let's have you roll deception. Look at you, the 22 there.
Let's hope there's no combat, because then we know what's going to happen on the other end.
So you'll reach out for one of these voices and kind of check in, and again, a kind of anonymity to the person, and they will say, Wayland, good. What happened?
And so she's going to get all gruff voiced, because that's what I think she thinks she needs to, or like she's going to act like, so I tried to lead them, but I think they got on to me, and they kind of knocked me out. I've been threw me in the alley, so I'm just, I just woke up and that's what happened.
That's not good. And Rust will be most upset. You need to Maintain your position there. Did they say anything before they assaulted you?
Yeah, no, they didn't really say anything, but man, you know, they were kind of badasses, man. So yeah, yeah.
You think they're dangerous and should be disposed of?
Oh, no, I think they probably could maybe, I think maybe they could be turned, maybe. Yeah, I think they like money, right? So maybe give them some money, right? And then they'll probably help out.
I will speak with Rust. Maintain your position.
Righto. Yeah. I'm on it, maintaining.
Kind of fade out. I'm going to pull away from there, come to Sajara.
Yeah, I think Sajara's concerns are more practical, while Kiri is staring into her little gem, and Ratung is has found another excuse to go off and have tea with someone, which seems to be his MO for wherever we end up. Sajara, I am going to just kind of reconnoiter so that if something breaks out and we need to get to like flee in a hurry, I can say to the goblins, down that passage go. You know, you'll come to a spiral staircase, climb it until you're back in the sewer or something like that.
Okay.
Basically just kind of get the lay of the land, see what's defensible, but mainly like if we need to be out of here in a big fast hurry, where do we go that's actually going to get us back up towards the city and not just like, you know, down some dead end or like end up in a, you know, like some kind of like, you know, bizarre machine that's like scooping lava out of the bottom of the, you know, like some pit or something like that.
Why don't you make a survival roll for me?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That was the check
good.
that made the most sense.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and do that. And you know what? This is going to set us up for later. So I'm going to go ahead and use, since we've got that extra inspiration, I'll go ahead and use one of my two right now and roll that with inspiration. So survival, here we go. Ended up being terrible either way.
So I think you'll realize that you've got a tough situation here, that the place that you're in, like you can't go further in, and pretty much the way out is the way you came.
The way out. Yeah. Okay.
You'll kind of look around and realize, like, you'll go down some false ends and realize, okay, these are dangerous ways. You at least eliminate those as, okay, we don't want to run off these. But it is definitely like you are at the end of some kind of a section here.
This is what we got.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, and then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to do like, just because we're down here doesn't mean I get to skip like my calisthenics and my exercises and my katas and my, but mostly I have this new sword. I need to practice with that and get to learn it. And, you know, and that's kind of I have that monk thing where I can basically like attune to a weapon. It becomes one of my monk weapons. I'll go ahead and do that.
Let me ask you this. Is this the kind of thing you do privately, or are you doing this so that people see?
I don't know. Like I would have, I'm not explicitly doing it to show off, but I'm not explicitly trying to do it privately. I'm probably off to the side somewhere so that I've got a little bit of real estate to do it in, but I am not in any way attempting to cover what it is that I'm doing because, you know, I mean, like in the monastery, we all work out together and stuff like that. And so I'm totally used to that. It's not a, you know, and like learning to block out outside distractions, like people gawping at you is like one of the first things you learn as like a novice. Right. So yeah, no, I'm fine. Just,
and I think towards the end, as you do that, there is a bit, doesn't approach but there's definitely a bit where that dwarven person who's kind of the commander of what passes for guards and security here definitely, walks to watch and assess to gauge your threat level.
Sure.
And does that and steps away before you finish up. But you did definitely know that he is keeping an eye on the three of you pretty closely.
As I'm doing that, can I just kind of, as I spin around to glance at him, can I make a little insight check to see where his opinion registers on that?
Sure. Let's have you make an insight roll.
Yeah, I'll just roll this straight. That's 11.
So he's a dwarf. He's a warrior.
Yeah.
He can appreciate your general skill, but that's just frippery. That's just fancy frippery. What you're doing.
Got
there.
it.
That's
Got it.
not
A lot
that's
of
not
waste,
real
a
fighting.
lot of wasted motion with my flippy, spinny, kicky things.
Yeah.
When a single axe strike will do the job. Got
Look,
it.
won't help you in a tunnel.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
sort of
Okay.
the attitude. So
Sure.
underestimating you a little bit there.
He's never seen me fight in a hallway, so
No.
that's yeah.
Ratug, let's come back to you. You've had a chance to talk to Typhoon. The others have kind of gone around doing some checking. What do you want to do after that as it gets on towards sort of the evening work shutting down for the day, the sort of sleep cycles thing, the sort of late shift of goblins going in?
Well, actually, my hope is if I've established a little bit of a rapport with Typhoon, is I was hoping to press for more information from her about now the specifics, if she will open up about some of the specifics about what they're doing here. Like maybe I'd invite her to have, like, let's have some more tea over here, chat a little bit more. I don't know if she would go for that or not, but
Certainly. So this feels like you are trying to do a little persuasion here. You're trying to butter her up. I'm going to let you carry forward that circumstance bonus, that +4.
okay.
Let's have you roll again.
All right. And I will go ahead and use my inspiration here.
Okay.
Okay, so 16 + 4, so 20.
So I'm going to give you a couple of questions here. Let's start with what's like the first thing that you want to get from her, to get her to spill. What's the question that you have?
What does she know about this Noderia refuse?
I don't know what, like, the two Warforged keep her close. I don't know if she's a ward or something, but they keep her by them at all times. I can't tell. She doesn't seem like she's a mage. I'm not sure what skills she has. I know a couple of people have tried to talk to her, and Cable has made it clear that they should not. But they barely, if ever, let her out of their sight. I don't know what the deal is. She paused and she goes, "It's so weird. There's got to be some reason. I mean, and I can't imagine it's anything good."
Listen, Typhoon, I want you to know, we did not just stumble upon this little digging party by happenstance.
Well, that much is obvious, but go on.
We are here to collect information, a task at which we've been somewhat successful, I might say. And I believe we might be on to something big, something that will benefit all of us and anybody who is allied with us. You are not appreciated here. You are undervalued. you belong in a much different station of society than where you currently find yourself. And I need you to either find out more about this Noderia refuse.
Why?
You said you don't know what her talents are, and neither do we.
Is she why you were sent down here? Is she the one you're looking for?
Amongst
Said you-
others.
Amongst others. What does amongst others mean?
Well, Boshalak,
The dead guy.
yeah. His associate,
You mean that girl that you picked up?
yeah. And Noderia. And we might be onto something much bigger than what anybody here might realize. But I would need your help. You are in this expedition. You could learn more. You could find out more about Noderia, and if you could help to facilitate a way for us to contact her discreetly, we may be on the verge of breaking this wide open in a way that you would benefit from as well.
Let me think on that. That what you're asking me is not easy.
It's risky, but with risk comes reward.
What are you talking about reward? Because I'm being paid quite well for what I'm doing here.
Reward can mean more than just monetary compensation, Typhoon.
No, not where I'm standing here in the ass end of Sharn. Monetary compensation is what matters to me at this point.
I understand. The potential for substantial monetary compensation is there. But again, risk, reward.
Let me think on that. I have an idea, but let me think on that, okay?
Please do. And if you need me to ever make that horrible tea more palatable, just let me know.
I may take you up on that. Carrie, let's slide back to you. You've had your chance to explore this this gem and the gem space. You've gotten a name out of it. What do you want to do now?
So, you had mentioned earlier that the night shift was getting ready to go out or whatever. So I think Kiri is going to maybe try to pull Sojara Dabra aside, or maybe while she's in the middle of some of her lighter movements, she tugs on her Sojara Dabra.
And we get that thing where, like, comes around and the fist lands like half an inch from your nose because you interrupted me in the middle of it, and then I just kind of open palm. And what is it, Kiri?
Sojara Dabra, I too am worried about the goblins. I've made some acquaintances, but I'm concerned that there's only a handful of us, and these people are very, we may be outnumbered, but perhaps it would be useful if I rejoined them into this group that's heading off into the night shift, that perhaps I could get some more information. And if something does happen, I might be there to try to help them, especially as their duly appointed union representative. I do feel an obligation to ensure that their work environment is safe as well. What do you think? Should I go with them?
You are not actually their duly appointed union representative.
She just looks at you kind of quizzically.
I sigh. Very well. Very well. I understand you must maintain the ruse even when they are not present. Perhaps, if you're going to do this, we should find a way to arm them as well. Their pickaxes and shovels will not be a match for. And I just kind of do a little head fake towards the Warforged.
And she so she gives you a big wink and it's like, so indicating that she can look for options. So I think if you guys are okay with it, she's going to scurry off after the and join the group that's trotting off to the work site. So.
Okay. And you will go along with them. I think it's no problem for you to kind of fall in. We have established that the goblins as laborers tend to get overlooked. I think the only person who might notice is Sachdeva, who seems to be kind of the labor person, but doesn't pay it too much mind. And you will head on it. And this is a group of like 6 goblins with tools, and they have some notes on wax tablets that were sketched for them earlier from the previous shift. And they walk down some halls, and then they cross over a gallery. Very like we're in kind of fallen ruins, Dark Souls kind of old spaces that they're crossing over and then down into another place until they get to this upper gallery area, and they work very carefully. I mean, the goblins, these are ones that were raised underground, and they're used to excavating in dangerous areas, and so they are pulling debris free. What do you want to do?
So are they, I'm assuming they are supervised by something other, is it just the goblin supervisor?
It's just the goblin supervisor here. Essentially the night shift is doing a little bit of cleanup. They are sort of the follow-up and to kind of map out where the next day's big work is going to be done.
Okay. So, and this is the same goblin that she had indicated that she was the union rep to. So he kind of already
that is passed around amongst the goblins. Okay. Yes.
So I think, she is just going to kind of, I don't know, maybe kind of wander. I mean, is there places for her to kind of wander around to?
Oh yeah. Like you could easily wander here and get lost.
Okay. So this is where, I think she's just gonna like keep her eyes open for, she's gonna poke around a little bit and not, not drift too far away, right? But just
sure.
kind of.
Let's have another fate die.
My fate is getting
like you will keep an eye. I think that you will find that there are clearly some off passages and things that people have gone down. You're like, okay, it doesn't surprise me that Bashalak was able to kind of sneak around in here and maybe dig up some things. You probably find some old coins and that kind of stuff down here. And maybe even, I think with that roll, was doing kind of maybe find like an alternate way that's to get to like the end site that they're digging at. Like, oh, if I come back through here through another gallery, I can come back this way. So I wouldn't have to necessarily take the path that they took to get here. I could take a different path back.
Okay. So to get back to camp, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you kind of maybe get a better sense of the tunnels and the mapping and that kind of thing. Does that seem like a fair?
Perfect. Yep. That's very fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sajara, Curie has taken off here as it's getting on towards nightfall. Camp is kind of settling in. Food has been distributed out. Some people are turning in. There's some talking, maybe some music played, and setting up kind of the night watch. What are you doing?
I'd like to check in with our. So, remind me again, which of our NPCs is the one with the dragon mark?
That's Yabnavi.
Yabnavi. Okay, cool. All right. I'm just going to add to the notes that she is the aberrant dragon mark holder. And we've kind of she's sort of been kind of shuffled off to the side and told to cool her jets, right? I'm definitely going to check in with her because it's the to see if she's getting restless or whether there's any, we can fill her in further or anything like that.
You can see that she's got that box that guys, you took the stuff out of the box, but you brought it back with you, the box with the magic key and stuff. And you can see that she's fooling around with that. She's shutting it and opening it. And I think it'll take you a second before we realize that she's shutting it and she's opening it without the key. And it has a magic lock on it.
Yeah.
And she's like, Sajara Dabra, do the others say your full name? Am I supposed to say your full name?
It is my preference. Yes.
All right, Sajara Dabra. Hello.
Hello. I have come to check in to see whether you're comfortable, whether you're hungry, they're preparing meals. I know that the waiting is difficult, and for that I apologize, but things appear to be in something of a state of flux right now.
Yeah, it feels very weird down here, doesn't it?
And I kind of raise an eyebrow at weird. I say it is a unique place. It is a region of Sharn unto itself, but it's nonetheless a region of Sharn. Kiri and Ratung are dealing with the other factions. I wish I had more to tell you. I apologize that I do not. Have you been able to discover anything in the box that we overlooked?
No, I was just playing with it.
How are you able to open it without the key?
Kind of pauses. She says, that's the other thing my gift can do.
And that's a little head tilt, if an expression could say, one of the things I wish you had told us at that time, it kind of, I kind of give her a little look like.
That's the primary reason why our mutual acquaintance, the Padishan, kept me around. Is I've always been able to diffuse wards, locks, those kinds of things.
It makes quite a bit more sense now. Also, why could Bashalak do this as well? Or was this unique to your use of the mark?
Well, Bashalak didn't have the mark.
Sorry, Bashalak didn't have the mark. Who's the other one that had the mark?
Nadiria.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. I got
okay.
that mixed up in my head. Could Nadiria can Nadiria do this as well?
Because I have no idea. I didn't even know that Nadiria had this mark. I mean, he told me more than Bashalak ever told me.
are any of the expedition aware that you can do this?
No.
You've shared this with me in confidence. I will hold it in confidence if you wish.
You can tell the others in your group, but
Kirian
beyond
Ratung can be trusted to hold it in confidence as well if I impress upon them the importance of doing so.
yeah, but appreciate not go further than that, especially with what you've told me about the mark.
Well, the Padishan's interest in you is now much more apparent, as well as the lengths he will probably go to get you back.
Yeah.
If you join us, the widow will protect you. You have my word.
She says, and I mean this with no offense, but I don't think I have much choice otherwise.
And I shrug, and I say, perhaps not a safer choice.
Fair enough.
Will you join me for dinner?
Yeah, I'll go with you. She'll stand up and go as you head back to eat. Feels like we cut scene there. Let's take our first break, take 10 here, and we'll come back. Sound good?
Hit it.
So I'm going to kind of hard frame up a little here, if I may. We're going to come to sort of the evening. Sajara, Ratel, you have a chance to kind of chat with one another about what you found out, information that you've passed at that point.
And I'm curious especially what Kiri thinks about when I drop that, like, oh, by the way, my dragon mark can like unlock things and deactivate Ward's bombshell that she did not share with us.
And this is probably when you get back at like midnight, Kiri, when the three of you can kind of chat there.
So I think Kiri's definitely going to share too that she found another way, and maybe she even kind of slipped back that way, through that back way back to the camp, and she'll obviously share that with. And it doesn't sound like there was much to see at the, from what you described, at the just cleaning up rubble and everything. So it would indicate that they're not eminently. I mean, I guess maybe Kiri's going to take that as they're not eminently about to, find what they think they're going to find. So.
So it's there about midnight. You passed on this information. I think it's pretty quiet in the camp there. Like, are you guys taking watches? Are you doing anything during the latest the hour or what? Ratung?
I imagine at this point, I actually think that I have set my little familiar loose to scurry around the camp, and just sort of pick up whatever bits of conversation or information that it can. So I think you would kind of see, and I'm actually sort of inhabiting my familiar's mind.
Okay.
So I think you'd see me just kind of like lean back against my rucksack, just kind of like staring with eyes glazed over up at the cave ceiling of this room, and just sort of but my mind is seeing through the eyes and hearing through the ears of this little rat scurrying about.
And I think your rat will, I think we get the rat's eye view. I think we see him checking out the goblin camp, checking on that stuff. I think we see him heading over to where the workers are at, besides that, the Sechdeva and them, goes past the dwarf, who's kind of at the far margin, kind of watching the way you guys came in, guarding, going over to the nice cave that Vicar Price has, that has the kind of perfumes and stuff. And then I think heading over and heading over to the like encampment sort of tent thing, where the Warforged are, and getting there, and the rat kind of pokes their head in, and there's no one there. There's no Rust, there's no Cable, there's no Nodira.
So where hasn't it looked yet? I'm trying to think.
It hasn't checked on Typhoon, and it hasn't checked on like going into the tunnels.
Yeah, good point. I think in light of the conversation that I had with Typhoon, I think that I would try and check out their tent and just see if they are there and if they are alone.
They are not there.
Then sorry, but my kids
Fair
are
enough.
putting on a play in the background actually for my wife, so that's fun. So you'll hear that. But I would push on into the tunnel.
And this is a big complex here. To send the rat down into there.
Yeah, I mean it's a rat in a maze. Nothing more appropriate than that.
Then let's have you make a, oh gosh, I think this is probably animal handling or perception.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, the familiar and I are one in a way,
Okay.
where I think it's just more of my perception probably at this stage.
So you will.
Okay. 14.
14. There is that moment where you stop and the rat kind of has that low light vision where you come upon this form, and then we see the rat move up, and of course you're from that rat's eye view, and I think there'll be that moment where you'll see the flash of your little school medallion, and I think you will see the corpse of Typhoon laid out in one of these tunnels.
Is there no one else is there? It's just the remains of Typhoon. I will push further if I can.
Are you telling your companions? Let's stop there.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll
Okay.
just it's kind of like that. My eyes are glazed over looking at the ceiling, and then just this kind of snap back to reality. And I'll just like instantly sit bolt upright and say, Typhoon's been murdered.
I mean, Sajara Dabra just stands up and says, "By whom? Where is she?"
She's in the tunnels. By whom? The only people in this camp that aren't accounted for were her, accounted for now, as well as the two Warforged and Nodiria.
What about the workers? Are they all right?
The workers seem to be safely encamped for the evening.
You take us there.
All right.
We need to find out what happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And certainly you've been there, it's your rat's eyes, so you can lead them. Kiri, what's your reaction to all of this?
So I think Kiri is getting worried, right? I mean, we're so she's being a little quiet, which is unusual for her because she's starting to get kind of worried because we're down here, people are dying, this is maybe starting to not be as fun as it was in the beginning. So she's getting kind of concerned, and so she'll indicate, hey, why don't we? She reminds him that we can take that back passageway to get into the tunnels, so we won't be seen by. We obviously won't be able to scurry quite through the camp the same way the rat does. So. So she'll suggest that we go that way, and so I think she's also interested in, to your point, I would think we would be able to. So she'll indicate like, well, I also want to see the body because I would think it'd be, I like to see how she died, right?
Sure.
I mean,
Let me ask this question. Does the three of you gather your things together, begin to head, led by Ratung, and kind of taking some other passages so you're not necessarily spotted by anybody?
So
Yes.
before we go, I'm going to get Yabnavi.
Okay. And that was the question I had is,
There we go.
Yabnavi
Okay, yeah.
and Crux,
Um,
take them with you or not?
I will ask Yabnavi. I will tell her what happened and ask her, and tell her that we will take her with us if she feels safer doing that, or she can stay, but it's her choice. We're not going to force her to do either.
She'll say, I would prefer to go with you. I don't want to be left alone here.
Very-
If people are offing people.
Very well. Are you armed?
Short blade dagger.
I nod curtly. And what's that? And remind me exactly who Crux is and what her connection.
And this is probably a
to us
question
and-
for Kiri. Do you want to take Crux? Crux is of course, the orcish agent who killed your former guide, who turned out to be a bad person, but who has been reasonably on your side throughout.
Yeah, I think she'll, like, when this all happens, we're kind of, I can see us, everybody's, Sajari's leapt up. It's like, we need to go see the body. People are getting, I think she'll, grab, come on, Crux, come on.
Okay. And she'll get her rapier and small sword and follow along, kind of falls in, and the five of you will head off through here. You'll head out through these tunnels until you find this passage that kind of bends and heads on, and you will find Typhoon's body there. And does somebody want to make an investigate roll?
Well, I think I would kneel down at the body right away, and
Yeah.
I will pick up the school medallion. I think clearly I'm feeling that this is something that I caused, right? I mean, it is by pushing her toward maybe turning on the Warforged. So as I'm doing that, leaning down to pick up the medallion, I will just take a look at her and kind of see what I can glean from what she, the state of her body, as well as maybe anything else that she had on her person that would help us to understand the situation.
Let's have you make an investigate roll.
14.
14. I think that you will realize that she was clearly pacing another group. Kind of, she's got a cloak kind of pulled up to help her conceal herself a little. And She seems to have been grabbed and killed by enormous, strong hands. And I think that you can see that the path that this is headed on, like it kind of breaks away from the path that Kiri and the goblins have gone on. Like this is sort of a different direction that they were headed down to. Does that seem fair?
I think while Rattan was looking, I think Kiri was maybe keeping an eye out, you know, around us, right? You know, just to make sure that we're not gonna get somebody, like I'm trying to avoid that scene from the movie where we're all hanging over the body and somebody
Right.
walks up and, you know, assumes. So she's kind of trying to keep an eye out for, you know, up and down the especially the direction of camp.
I think as you move along and you're kind of doing a little bit of recon in this area, you realize that you're definitely hearing like a different set of sounds from this area off, but more importantly, like there's a different color of light that seems to be down this set of tunnels ahead of you, and you suspect that whoever the killer is, that's what they were making their way towards. So you have a choice: head down that passage, return back to the camp. Sajara Dabra.
Oh, we're going to pursue them. We're going to continue. This is not, this cannot stand.
And I think that you will come up, and it's similar to some of the other galleries that you've seen, but this section of the wall is cracked open and it goes down into a big ruined area. Maybe it was a temple at some point. There are great big statuaries in different places. There are these enormous like hands of stone that are on the floor that are about 10 feet long and maybe 5 feet high. There are a couple of enormously tall statues. There's some weird pattern work on the floor. You kind of have come in. There's a sort of a step down area. And you can see as you look down, there are some lights in here. You will see that the Warforged cable is kind of standing in the middle. You'll see that Rust and Nudiria are a little further along. There's also this crackling elemental, like looks like maybe a living spell that's kind of crackling around. But the thing that's at the end of this long path, this hall, you will see this enormous crystalline thing. It's maybe about 8 feet tall. It's crystal, but there's filigreed metalwork around the outside of it, and it's kind of crashed into the ground. And you will see that it is transparent on the inside, except you see that there are these 2 spectral black wings that are spinning around inside of that canister. And now I will show you the map. Let's see. Where's the...
Sorry, this is great, but like it's Roll20, so you can't just go, and now the map.
The map.
Ta-da! It's like, and now I will click, menu, click, show you, click, menu, click. The map.
Can you see the map, everybody?
Yes, we can. That's super awesome. That's
Okay.
wicked cool. Yeah.
I played a little bit with the things. I hopefully you could see their tokens and things.
Yeah, that's great.
So just to kind of go through, cable is here. Red thing there. There's a burning living hands, or burning hands there. Rust up here. Nadiria here. And here is where the spell bomb is. So right now you have a little bit of the element of surprise, but let's go ahead and roll initiative, shall we? Carry. Oh, I should probably add turns to the board. Thank you. I always forget to do that. Okay. All right.
Go team Slowpoke.
Get those ones out of our system now, I guess.
Yes.
That's the way it works, right? Once you
That's
roll a one once, then
absolutely,
it has to be
absolutely
at
the way
least
that
19
works.
more rolls before you can roll another
Did you
one.
get
Yeah.
a 1 on your initiative return?
I did, yeah. 1 with no modifier, so just a 1.
Well, mine is a 5, but for the record, the roll was a 1 as well.
Okay.
So
All right.
when Jim's 6 gets him the first in our group to go, that's a pretty sad state of affairs.
So Carrie, I see you at a 24 for your initiative. Is that right or wrong? Oh, that's probably left over from last time, isn't it?
That's left over from last time. I
Alright.
cannot tell a lie. It's a 5.
Okay. All right. So who am I missing? I'm missing Sojara, right? And Sojara, what is your initiative?
6.
6.
I'm the monk, so I go faster than my friends.
Okay.
Her reactions have obviously been dulled by spending time with us. So
Mind you,
fast
you
is a
all.
loose term.
So we have 2 NPCs, which we will apply as we need to. But right now, you have the element of surprise. So let's start with Sojara. What do you want to do? Those various hands and things are huge. They do block line of sight.
Okay. And there's like some kind of just is it like it sounds like it's like kind of ambient light that's just sort of like from like coming off of the crystal and the spell and stuff like that.
The
Just
crystal,
kinda,
some of
yeah,
that,
okay,
it's
yeah.
got this weird sort of black and white light that's coming there. And then the living burning hands is producing a certain amount of illumination. It looks like there's a couple of other illuminatory devices.
Got it. All right. So man, oh man. So I think I'm gonna I kind of I turn to Yabnavi and I say, do you, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter what they want with it or something like that. I turn to Yabnavi and I say, be careful if you can get around and use your dragon mark to unlock the spell somehow so that we can take it away. Do that.
If you think that's the right thing to do.
I don't know how such things work.
Neither do I.
But we can't let it fall into their hands, I say. Think for a moment about what people like this would do with it if they could bring it to Sharn.
Okay.
And I turn to Kiri and Rotung and I say, I will occupy their attention. Do what is necessary, and take a bonus action. And like my legs get a little longer, and and like kind of my face elongates, and the kind of my hair sort of goes down, and I get a little bit of a tail, and I shift into my mongoose form, which gives me some extra hit points and stuff like that. Con modifier, I get six temporary hit points. And then I'm just gonna roll in there and just lay my, just kind of run in there and just lay lay a short sword upside that lightning sword upside Cable's head.
Okay. So I think that is a.
I mean, is he standing is he standing there like he's standing guard or what?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah,
I think
then
if you kind of rush out from behind, he'll still be surprised as you go.
Yeah, I'm just coming right at him.
Okay,
Yeah.
that will give you advantage on your attack.
Fantastic. I will take that. So I'm going to roll this is my shock blade, which I'm using for the first time.
AC is a 16.
Oh. Nope, that's not going to hit. That is a 10. Which is, but I've got advantage. So that 17 will hit. Yes. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. So and it does. So I think the way you described it is it's a regular short sword, but it does an additional D6 of lightning damage, right?
I believe so.
Is that how that works? I think that's what you told me.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, cool. So for that, like we don't have a separate way to roll damage, right? We just use the dice roller. Okay, cool. So here's the dice roller. So I'm going to roll 2d6. Wow, that's a great roll. That's 9 plus I add my dex bonus, which is 4 for 13 and another +1 for the magic weapons. So 14 points of damage on that hit.
That is a substantial hit. Like he is almost staggered as you smack that in, and electricity will crackle across him. And that kind of creates a whole nother set of illumination in here as that sparks across him and turns his attention definitively towards you. Carrie.
No, you know what? I've used my bonus act. I use my bonus action to shift, so I don't get my additional monk attack. So I'm good. Yeah.
Carrie, what are you doing?
Okay, so there's no line of sight to Rust and Nodaria, but we know they're there, right? Because we saw them when we came.
I think you would have moved. You've seen, you know where they are, but you can certainly conceal yourself if you need to.
Okay. Well, I think Curie is going to. I think she's going to move up behind this hand, maybe kind of roughly. I don't know if you can see the little ping, kind of roughly in that area, maybe
like this.
Yeah. So that is that enough that she can get a little bit of sight?
Oh yeah, you can climb on a finger, get yourself an angle. If you want to take a range shot, you can certainly do that.
That's not a bad idea. I don't have much from range, though. I got daggers I could throw, I suppose. But yeah, so I think she will climb, kind of climb. To your point, just be kind of up on a finger there. But before she leaves, she pulls Crux down and just gives her a big wet one and says, "Stay alive." And then she runs off to the hand, and then she has a thing. Bards have so many things.
They do.
But I think this is a goblin thing, maybe. Yeah. So as a bonus action, she can take the disengage or hide action. So she's going to do the hide action once she's up on that hand there.
Okay. So you are hidden. So we're going to assume that no one has seen you. Crux will kind of move up to this position to kind of follow up. Yabnavi will move up kind of around, trying to be a little more discreet about things. Ratung, you are going to finish out the round.
All right. I think that I will. I'm going to use my bonus action to shift, also, which is
Okay.
kind of a rat-like form. So ears just grow a little bit and become furry. My nose and mouth kind of elongate out a bit, snout-like. The end of my nose becomes a little bit rat-like, and I kind of develop this little bit of a forward hunch. My fingers kind of become a little bit longer and clawed, and I'm going to kind of run out this way, maybe just to the side of
Okay.
where Kiri is, and I'm going to cast a web spell. So I'm trying to kind of net this web kind of like here, and then anchor it here, and kind of like around these points to catch rust inside of the web.
Okay. So can you pull up the spell description for web for me?
Sure.
Thank you. $60 feet. So yeah, that's a pretty big range. Target 20-foot cube, so a 4 square. Or no, that's 10. So yeah, it's a 4 square by 4 square. And you can anchor it between things. Yeah. One of your choice. So start to turn in the webs. If it enters them, it must make a dexterity saving throw. And the spell DC for the dex save is a 12.
I think, well, mine is 13 now, so I don't know why it says 12. On my character
Okay.
sheet, it says spell save DC 13.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. So you can do that. What does your web look like when you cast that?
yeah, I think it's kind of like this string kind of shoots out from my finger, and it just looks like just this thin gossamer web of string. But as soon as it kind of like hits one of the anchor points that I aim at, it kind of explodes from there, almost like this firework of sticky, thick webbing to just cover that area, and just grabs onto all those anchor points that are there, as well as, of course, Rust himself. And as I do that, I think I will shout at Nodiria and say, Nodiria, these people are dangerous. Get away from them. This is your chance.
All right. So you will cast that off. We cut to the start of the next round, and you will cast that web out, and it will web up Rust, and you'll see Rust shake and step, and the Warforged kind of tears away from that, and this like pile of Warforged armor kind of falls to the ground, and you will see this figure, tall. That Warforged was huge. This figure, and you will see it is pale white skin, kind of like a black miasma flowing off, and you'll see that there are black stumps on the back of its shoulders where there ought to be wings. And this figure grabs Nodiria and begins pulling her towards the spell bomb and says, I will be whole again. And we'll drag her over there. Cable is going to take, since you're in melee, a couple shots at you, Dabra. This is in melee, arm blade, draws to take 2 shots. What is your AC?
My AC is let me go back up here. It's 16.
16. So first shot will hit you for 6, essentially swings at you, cuts across with that arm blade.
Yep.
Brings the other one up and crits with the second one.
Good Lord. All right.
So you're going to take another 9 from that second one.
Okay.
Heavy hits, cuts across you.
Mm-hmm.
Moving burning hands has not been directed, so it will move towards its master and hold position. You can tell that Cable's like setting himself up to keep you from going further past this point, Sajara, but it is your action.
Okay, let me see here. I think I've got
5-foot hexes, by the way.
yeah. So I hiss at him, and like he kind of goes back, and he's like standing in front of me like that. And I just do one of these like lightly leap up onto one foot, kind of arms out, and like it takes me like 15 feet in the air right over his head. I'm going to use my monk ability, Step of the Wind. I can spend 1 key point to take the disengage or dash action as a bonus action on my turn.
Nice.
And my jump distance is doubled for the turn.
Holy moly, how far is your jump distance now?
It's I don't like it's I can't like close that distance. It's enough to like get over his head.
Yeah. Okay.
But my move is 50 while I'm shifted. So
nice.
I disengage, like I just say, I don't even say anything. I just kind of like up in the air, like kind of little front flip over his head. I land like 5 feet behind him, and as he's turning, I'm like rocketing across the distance between me and Rust, which I think I've got. What do we got there? So that's like 10, 20, 30, 40,
45,
50.
I think.
Yeah,
just at the
that
50,
puts me kind of the diagonal spot with him there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I close that. Do I have any idea what he is?
Well, let's have you make an Arcana roll.
Sure. I mean, it's not my specialty, but I may have read about it somewhere or something like that. Let's see. Arcana. Woo. Oh, 16, even with a -1.
He's definitely something fell and infernal, a potent shade from the dark, brought low and reduced much in stature, and he just needs his wings back, and he will be able to cause a great deal of havoc.
Sure. Okay. So it was my bonus action to disengage and get over there.
Yep.
So I've now I moved, so I'm going to go ahead and go after him, and as I come out on him, it's like out with that lightning blade again.
Okay. AC is a 17.
Okay. Let me just go ahead and spend my other point of inspiration right now.
Okay.
This seems like a good time for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This is my shock blade.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That 24 is a palpable hit.
What like where do you strike him?
So and he's like got the I come up right at him, and like he is able to move freely except for that arm that is holding onto Nadaria.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm just going like wonking him right on the shoulder there.
Nice.
Which like mechanically doesn't necessarily get him to let go of her or anything, but
damage.
But that's the part that's vulnerable. So and again, this is going to be 2d6 plus 5, a d6 of which does it Does it matter that a d6 of it is lightning at all, or should I just roll it like regular?
Just roll it regular.
Okay, all right.
It's got a magic weapon. Got that.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
cool. All right, so this is 2d6. Boom. Oh,
Good. Good
But-
roll, the pervious one.
but it's +5, so that becomes a total of 7 points
7.
of damage.
So not bad.
Yeah, and I've also got sorry, this is my monk thing.
Yeah.
Oh no, bonus action. I've already used my bonus
Yep.
action. A lot of my stuff keys off of bonus actions, and you only get one of those. So, but I'm now like right up in his face.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you have Navi continues to stealth around the bottom, making her way carefully there. Kiri and then Ratung.
All right. So Curie is, first of all, she's like, whoa, when she sees the giant leaping thing. And then she will, so I think she's going to reach into a little pouch in her whatnots and blow dust towards Cabal and is
Okay.
cast sleep on Cabal. And she's going to cast that at a second
You
level.
know that Warforged are immune to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, apparently she does not.
But
So-
I think that's a general thing in Eberron.
Okay.
I think given that you have a
All
sleep
right.
spell, I think it's fair to say.
Then plan B was she will be using her color spray,
Okay.
which is a sort of a 15-foot cone. Oh no, she's not close enough.
You
Wait.
can step or move to get yourself in position.
Yeah, you're only 10 feet away.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah,
5 foot. 10,
Yeah.
15.
Yeah,
So,
15-foot cone is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so she can just kind of step forward and so that is, and again, she will cast I'll use a second level spell slot. So
Okay.
it is, I'll pop this into the thing here. So it's 60-10 of hit points, and
Okay.
then add another 2d10 because it's a slot above first level. So it's 8d10, and then I obviously have to get enough hit points to even affect it. So
Okay.
so I'm gonna have to type this one in, aren't I? So what, that's /R
8d10.
8d10.
Oh yeah, that's enough to affect him, most definitely.
Okay, so I believe he's blinded
Yes.
until the end of my next turn. Yes, my next turn.
Yep.
If I read that right.
I'll put the little marker.
Also, quick roll 20 tip, which is that if you if you just tap the die on the die roller, you
Mhm.
get a window that has the advanced die roller where you can punch stuff into it.
Oh, I see it. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just easier than having to do the whole, but type the syntax for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he hit him with that will flash over him, and you can see his eyes kind of flashing in sync with that, trying to adjust.
And then I think she'll just finish out by leaping down.
Okay.
And I think maybe coming into like right here where she can on her, I don't think she's got anything bonus action wise she can do other than, so she'll be ready to take a shot at him next turn.
Perfect. Ratung.
All right. So movement wise, moving like through this area here, would that mean I would need to be like climbing up if I wanted to go straight this way?
Yeah, I think it's there's probably like a 5-6 foot sort of wall thing there that you just have to kind of it's an extra 5 foot to climb, add on to
Okay.
your move cost there.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Is it also costing to go down or?
No, that's just
40.
a hop down.
Okay. So because of my shape change, I'm able to move 40 feet.
Oh
So
yeah, and you're so just scamper, hop up on top.
that's what I'm
Up
thinking. It's
along.
probably, yeah. I probably
Yeah.
never looked so graceful as when yeah. All right. I'm going to cast Gust of Wind. Let's see. I will put it in the chat here. Range 60-foot line. Okay, so my goal is to create this gust of wind to push on Rust or whoever this is.
Okay.
I want to push them. What the spell does is it would push them 15 feet away from me. I'm
Okay.
trying to get him away from Noderia so that Noderia can run for it. I do not want her to open up this thing. So my goal is to push Rust away
So
from her.
now that's a 10-foot wide line.
Good point. I didn't think about that. 10 feet wide.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So you
Okay.
could get Dabra and Rust, or you could get Rust and Noderia.
Does it just move us? Like, does
Yeah.
it do damage or
It
does
just,
it just move
it
us?
just moves you.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll move.
Hit me.
Yeah. So I'll just move.
I'll just I'll just like skid along with the wind and end up on my feet. So yeah, I mean, unless it knocks us prone, that's
Well,
Well,
I don't think it
let's-
does. It just moves
Nope.
you. Yeah.
So
yeah, hit me. Go ahead,
Dabra,
put me in
please
it, yeah.
make a DC 13 strength check.
Oh, you get a strength check to resist it. Okay.
Yep.
All right, cool. Let me see what we got here. Where's my sheet? Here it is. Strength. Nope, I'm gonna fail. It's gonna
Okay.
slide. It's gonna slide me.
And even with the +5 strength save,
Yeah.
Rust is going to get pushed back 1, 2, 3. Could I please, Ratug, have you roll me a d20 fate die?
Sure. 18.
Oh,
That is so cool. That's such a martial arts movie thing where we're fighting and like still fighting as the wind is sliding us across the exists. Yeah.
that wind goes past. You throw both of them away. Rust smacks against the spell bomb as he goes past. And you will hear a noise start on that, like a vibration, a sound start from that spell bomb. Like a resonance, or one might even say a mechanism activate on it. Rust will go, and he, let's see, he can do up to 30 feet, but nobody else is within 1, 2, 3, 4, 8.
The other thing is with this spell on him, it basically doubles the cost of movement if he's moving back toward me.
We will see. What he does is, with one hand, he reaches over to grab at Sajara, and then the other hand stretches out, forms of shadow, and swings at you. What is your AC for tongue? What is it? You are muted. You're muted, so you're hiding your AC from me.
I am hiding it. It's a 10. To quote Jim when he played a mage in our OSC game, my armor is my bare ass.
Okay.
So, Jim, I like that's like my favorite thing ever. So thank you for that.
So he will hit you for 8 points of damage. And I need you to make a DC 12 con save.
Okay, and I did have 6 temporary hit points, so I took those off and then took off 2. DC 12 con. Okay, that is a natural 20.
Natural 20. So you feel it when it comes, tries to like tear like a wound in you, and doesn't quite get the grip, but it still hurt. And the strike on you, Jim. Your AC is
Still 16.
16.
Good Lord, lol. That's the second one.
That's the second one. So that is 4, 6, meaning another 9 points of damage.
Yeesh. Okay.
I need you to make a con save.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Cool.
Cable will swing with disadvantage, blinded at you, Carrie. What is your AC, Carrie?
Hang on. 14.
14. So we'll hit you with disadvantage for 6 points. Living Burning Hands is going to attempt to hit you with fire or tongue.
So here's just a question. Is it possible that as it comes up to me, I blow it away because I'm still continuing to shoot out the air?
I think
that's like
the
a
air
1 minute
will
continuous
feed and
thing.
fan its flames.
Oh no. Okay. It doesn't knock it back. All right.
So you're going to take 6 points.
Okay.
So Jara, don't forget we got some potions, I believe, last time too.
Mhm.
So Jara.
All right. So is Nadiria armed at all?
No, you see that Nodiria is kind of like now is like staring at the bomb and like clearly trying to decide what to do. She's clearly been brought here to defuse this thing, which will give this guy the power that he needs. But now it's been activated, and you see her caught between like, do I disarm it? Do I run? What?
All right. So I am going to disengage from it's been active. Oh man. Oh, la, 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 la. All right. You know what? I'm gonna trust that Yabnavi is gonna get here and help fix this. So I will does it cost me a key to do that disengage? I think it does, right?
So here's the thing,
Yeah.
either the bomb is going to go off or the bomb is going to be disarmed, which will release those wings.
Sure. So you know what? I think what we need then is for there to not be anybody for the wings to attach to. I think that is my current strategy. So yes, I will say, and and I kind of look at him and I say, you should have been satisfied with your life. And I will do I want to do that? Yeah, and I'm just gonna come around, whip around with the with my, with the sword and attack him again. Kind of do a little flourish, spin, boom, and now I can just be like just like looking for chinks. Oh, he's not even wearing his armor anymore. This I'm just laying it on him.
Absolutely.
Just
AC natural
slashing,
17, but
slashing across. Yeah, let's see what we got here. So this is a shock blade hit. That 10 is not going to do it.
no.
I will. I get. Let me see. And then I will spend a key point. As I, kind of come back, and kind of flourish with the blade, and just kind of start moving like kind of sinuously, like doing like the mongoose dance, right?
Okay.
Like when the and that is my patient defense. I spend bonus action 1 key, and that gives me the dodge action until my next turn,
Okay.
which means he rolls disadvantage to attack me.
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
just trying to keep him busy here.
You have Navi will move up. Kiri, Crux will move to support you. So if you attack or do another action, she'll give you advantage on your action.
So I have a quick question, and maybe Kiri wouldn't know this from where she's at, but
Sure.
you said that when he hit it, it sounded like mechanisms were going. Are there visible?
Oh
like,
no,
is it
it's
sort
a
of
it's a spell.
steampunky looking thing?
It is a spell bomb.
Right, but are there physical mechanisms on the outside of it that?
Not that you can see.
Okay, all right, then never mind. I had a wild and crazy plan, but with that won't work then. So I think she will.
Now I'm
Just,
going to point out to you, and I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. You have a plot point, as does Jim.
I completely forgot about those. Even though Tim used one earlier in the game, I
Yes.
completely
Yeah.
forgot about those. Yes, yeah.
You can save it
Well-
if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna save it.
All right. So what do you want to do?
Yeah, so I think she's just going to take advantage of the moment and attack Cable.
Okay.
With her rapier.
Absolutely.
So-
You are attacking with advantage.
All right.
Because he's blinded, you'll be talking with advantage. Crux is assisting you. So Crux will give you another extra die of damage.
Okay, so I am also going to spend one of my bardic inspirations so that if I do hit, that I can do a little extra something. So
Okay.
here it comes. So with the advantage, that's the 19.
That will
So-
hit. Yes.
Okay, and then with Tim's, you said I should be able to just click on there yet. So 6, then her fighting style gives her 2 more. That's 8.
And roll me. What's your damage die with that weapon?
A D8.
Then roll me another D8.
And then I'm going to roll my bardic inspiration die because I get to add that into that as well. So,
Absolutely.
Oh my God, there's so much rolling going on.
Oh yeah.
All right, excellent. There's the extra D8 of 1. And then I'm rolling the inspiration die, which I'm going to do the defensive flourish, which I will be able to add the damage into it, but then I'll also be able to add whatever I roll to my armor class
Okay.
until the start of my next turn.
Okay.
Oh, 3. So 3 more damage, and then she'll have a 17.
What does that
armor class.
look like? Like, how is it with a rapier, you drop this Warforged?
Ooh. So I think as we'd established very early on, so she's seen her buddies Sojara, Dabra leap across the entire place, and so I think we'll see that. I guess I kind of have this vision of a bit of a whack whack whack, sort of them going at each other, and I think maybe she's going to slide under because she's tiny,
Yeah.
and then kind of come up and just the stick the rapier in sort of there's sort of a crack or sort of a piece where she can fit it in there, and then just finish him off that way.
Perfect. And then that huge sound as a Warforged, crashes to the ground. Ratung.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna continue to try to keep this rust away from the spell bomb.
Okay.
So I'm thinking if I have 40 feet of movement, maybe
8
5,
squares. Yeah.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I'm wondering if I could even put myself like here and then
Good.
just continue to keep that spell going and just try and push them both straight back. So
Sure.
to continue their fight, keeping him away from everybody else.
Move yourself over there.
Okay. And then it's the strength saving throws.
Okay. I will roll for rust. We'll resist that time. And Sajara Dabra. Oh yeah. So you kind of got that wind coming up.
Yep.
And there. You can see that Rust is trying to kind of push past the wind. He clearly doesn't want the bomb to go off. And he's trying to get to that. That was tongue on one. Rust. Let's see. Rust will.
Oh, one thing.
Yeah.
One of the the kind of shifter I am, the swift stride shifter. I can move up to 10 feet as a reaction when a creature ends its turn within 5 feet of me, which
Oh.
Ratung just did. And keep in mind, folks, that Kiri and I both have this, and we can trigger this by ending our turn next to each other. Because it's a creature.
Nice.
Which then allows me to I can move up to 10 feet as a reaction. When a creature ends its turn within 5 feet of me, it doesn't provoke opportunity attacks.
Okay.
So I'm going to use that to just kind of sidestep to put me between him and the bomb.
Okay.
So that he can't, to make it harder for him to get at it. There we go.
So up
Something
there?
like that. Yeah.
That also makes it harder for that living burning hands to come over and cone of flame, which was I was going to do. So
It's true. It also means that Ratung can shift his wind cone to maybe so that now it's only hitting the Warforged, stuff like that. There's a whole lot of stuff that hopefully that does helps us out with. So yeah.
Rust is going to strike. Let's see. It's got reach of 10 feet. So I think he's just going to do the 2 strikes, one on each of you, since you're that close to him. So first.
And if I think he maybe has to save again if he starts his turn in the wind. I don't know if that's if
Okay.
we want to do that, but
Let's do that. Yes, he will save against that.
Yeah.
So Ratung, you are going to take that's the regular strike, so that's 4 is 6 points. And I need you to make a Constitution save against 12.
that's 5.
All right. Until you make that save, you cannot be healed.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But the attack on you will miss, Jim. As he
I'm just kind of sliding around and everything. Whatever that thing just goes right past me.
Let's see. Let's roll D6. Okay. So 5. So right now, Yavnavi is tangled up with the living burning hands as it gets into the way of her. Means it's not attacking any of you, but it is stopping her from assisting. Sajara Dabra.
Can I spend my plot point to have Yabnavi desperately activate her dragon mark and like dispel whatever ward like magic it is that keeps the weird living spell active? Or is that one shot a little too much?
It's a challenge level 1 foe, and you're using a plot point, so that
Yeah.
doesn't seem bad. But you have to describe to me what that looks like. Like, what do we see happen?
Like it comes right at her, and she does a thing where she just reactively kind of throws her arms up in front of her, and we see that, and like the fire kind of, and like she starts to get a little burned, and the fire like hits the dragon mark, and she just kind of, she like her eyes go wide, and we see it glow, and there's maybe some kind of little like runes appear across it or something like that, because like nobody quite understands. Like my understanding of Eberron lore is nobody quite understands how these living spells work,
Right.
or they're like a product of the morning, right?
Yep.
And like whatever the hell it was that happened there, and they just sort of exist, and so maybe this was part of a trap or a mine or something like that, and it just interacts with her dragon mark in such a way that it kind of flares up, and she like closes her eyes like, oh, I'm getting immolated, and it just kind of wash around her, and is yeah.
Matrix at the heart of this thing just comes apart, and she's kind of coughing as the smoke hits. Sajara Dabra.
Yeah, and whew, he misses me. I grip my teeth. Sword back around, and shing. Let's see if I can. She's not like a chatty fighter, I don't think.
Right.
So no, not a lot of like Spider-Man crap going on. So let's see what we got here. Let me just close some of this stuff up to make these a little easier to read. Here we go.
That is a 19, so that will hit.
That will do it. Nice. All right, cool. So we got another we got another 2d6 here. That's 6 + 5 for 11.
11 points.
And now it is time for I'm going to spend another key point, and like sword comes in, slashes across him, and then like I do a like flip, kind of like a flip double kick, bam bam, one foot to the other, just to kind of try and put him upside his head. So this is a flurry of blows.
Okay.
So I get 2 more unarmed attacks by spending that key.
Wow.
And using my bonus action. So I'm hoping that offense will get it done here. So this is unarmed strike 1. Boom, that's a 19. That'll hit him.
Yeah.
Second one.
Oh,
25, that'll hit him. Both of those come across and plow into him. And then I've got, so that's going to be 2d4 because that's my martial arts die. But so that's 2 points, but I add 8 to that because it's my dexterity bonus each time. So that's another 10, another 10 to him as just like I said, kind of just that very gently sort of flip spin, 1 foot after the other, and then landing, and so
perfect. Staggering back, rage on his face there. Kiri. You muted. You muted, Joe.
Sorry. All right. So Kiri is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. So Kiri is going to run. Okay. I've counted it 5 times now. I think I can remember.
Okay.
All the way to here. I believe that is her maximum non-dashing. And then she's going to come skidding to a stop, and she's going to just like in her best sort of performance-y sort of get my attention. A lumberjack, a farmer, and a blacksmith walk into a bar, and she's going to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter at the Rust character.
Nice.
And so it is a wisdom saving throw. Here, let me pop this into the.
Sure.
So it is a wisdom saving throw with a DC of 13.
Okay.
If it fails it, he will be incapacitated, laughing at my wonderful joke.
Okay. Let's see. DC 13.
Ah!
But a 17 will resist. And I think you will throw that, and I think we can see it like focus in, and that miasma of black like darkens around it. Like that really pissed it off.
And I think Kiri is just like, that was funny.
Nice. Retung.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop that the gust of wind that I was throwing out. And I reach into a pocket and pull out like a little cricket, and I kind of hold it in my hand, and it chirps, and I cast a spell, and it is sleep. I am casting it as a level 2 spell.
Okay.
So current HP, I roll 7d8 to see if it exceeds his current HP to put him to sleep, assuming he's not like immune to it or something.
That's right, because he's not actually a Warforged. He just was wearing the Warforged armor.
Mm-hmm. 24.
Let's see. 38 damage plus 24. You magnificent bastard. He has 24 hit points left. And there'll be that bit where it kind of like he's still concentrating on Kiri, and like with the laughter kind of and then that hits with the cricket, and just step back, tries to stay awake, like every fiber of his being, because this is so beneath him, and he will drop to the ground. And Naduria will scream out, "We need to go. I can't stop this." So Jaradabra, what do you do? What is that? What is the next step here? We're kind of out of combat. We're going to kind of a little bit of a montage. And I think you'll look over and you'll see that spell bomb is vibrating. You see it start to consume those wings. It's going to convert that into some explosion. What do you do?
I mean, he's asleep.
Yeah.
So I think we're I'm gonna, and I mean I'm still in my shifter form.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna close the distance between me and Yabnavi, throw her over my shoulder, and say, everybody run.
Kiri, what do you do?
Yeah, I think she's still kind of in that moment of what, and then it's like her eyes get wide, and she's like, I'm out of here, and she hears Sajari Dabra say, "Everybody run," and she's just like turns and just starts bolting.
Okay. Krek sees you running towards her, and she turns and better part of valor. Retung.
Yeah, I'm still shifted too, so I'm pretty fast. I don't think I'm strong enough to like toss Nodaria on my shoulder like Sojaradabra did with Yabnavi, but I quickly just dash over to Nodaria. I I reach out with like my kind of clawed rat-like hand and grasp her hand and smile with my mangled rat teeth and say, trust me. And then just start running like with her holding
a moment
my
of
hand.
terror on her face. And it is this running dash through the hall, because Kiri mapped out the pathways before. There's a shout of a left, right, left as the three of you with your associates go running out of this, and you can hear that, and you can hear maybe a scream from Rust as he kind of comes to, and probably we see him stand up, reaching towards the bomb as his wings are consumed by it. And we get to that point where we see you at the entryway for the complex, the six of you coming out, even as that explosion goes off behind you and rises up this sphere of black that comes up, and you keep running, and everybody is running as well. And that black sphere keeps coming, and then it stops, and it back, and there is just this perfect 300-foot wide spherical crater where the bomb was.
Can we have that moment where when we were fleeing, like up ahead, we saw the goblins just kind of sitting there eating lunch?
Yeah.
And we're like, run.
They go running. The dwarf goes running. Even the elf woman, who shouldn't be running, she's running. Everyone pouring out of there.
Kiri's a hell of a union rep.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that's the point. We should do kind of a final scene epilogue down in here. We're going to play this again. And so we will take up with what it means for Yabnavi and Nudiria and all that when you get back to the widow and what all of that is involved. But like, what is the epilogue here in the sort of immediate aftermath, Sojara?
I absolutely want to see Kiri putting up a little hand-lettered sign that says 0 days since our last accident. But besides that, I mean, Sajara will make it her business to accompany Yabnavi to the widow. Like basically, like I'm her bodyguard until she is safe. And I think we see me, like literally like walking with her through the streets to the widow's house, and almost certainly somewhere along the way, we see, kind of like a hobgoblin, just like leaning against a lamppost somewhere, like kitty corner from the widow's house. The two of us go in there, and like his eyes go wide, and we see him mouth, "Holy shit!" and he turns and like books off.
And Ratung, what about for what we see of you here in the immediate aftermath or a little bit after?
I'm running with Nodiria, get away with her holding like my rat hand, and after I turn back to my human form, which really isn't much more comforting than my rat form.
True.
And I'll offer her a cup of tea to calm her nerves, and of course I'll flavor it, so it'll be delicious.
That is the thing. She's panicked, but she does make the thing to go, like, look down at it, sort of shocked.
So not bad, right? Yeah, drink it. It's good for you. And I will just let her know that we have a place for her that she can go that's safe. I'll tell her about the widow, our benefactor, and that we believe that we met someone else who shares her proclivities.
she doesn't quite understand. You have the sense that maybe she doesn't even quite understand what that would imply, but she'll nod. Okay.
It's a place where you and this other individual can be safe and explore the potential of what you can do.
All right.
And I think the last thing is, on our way out, I stopped by Typhoon's camp, if that's still standing.
Yeah.
And I'll just kind of like go through her things and like pick up anything, if there's anything else there that is like a token of just sort of her, something that might have been important to her, or, you know, any of like her magical things, you know, things that I can kind of take with me to try to commemorate her, because after all, I do feel and am responsible for kind of the way that things ended for her.
Perfect.
Never
And-
have Ratong as a schoolmate. I think that's the moral. to
That's
that.
the moral of the story.
Yeah.
And Kiri, what about for you?
Well, close, Jim, close. So in the very immediate aftermath, you will see Curie walking around, taking all of the statements from the individual goblins to ensure that proper recompense and whatnot is made. But then I actually just think the last thing you'll see for this particular season, episode, whatever, is you see Curie maybe back in her room, and there you get that scene of there's a knock on the door, and then it's Crux, and then the door just closes. And so
Nice. And that's our little story, our mystery that we had for this particular run of Eberron, the Glass Keys. So I would like to do just a quick stars, wishes, thoughts, if you all don't mind. Jim, can I start with you?
Sure can. Yes. Yeah. Stars to all of us for persevering despite the scheduling gremlins that afflicted this whole exercise. That's I don't know if it's Monday nights or summer or what, but it was definitely rough sledding,
my
but
furnace died on Wednesday when it was 100 degrees out. We have to get a new furnace. It's like, it's wild.
Yeah, no. So, and I was gone for that week at Origins and stuff like that and everything. So, but we made it work. So, so like first star, it happened. We are actually here playing with each other. That's like big star number one. Lol, I really liked the plot. This was really cool. Like it, there were some big reveals that, were surprising, but didn't feel like they came completely out of nowhere. Right. Like we were setting this up to be a serious thing. And like, it was like, whatever this thing was weird and mysterious. And I don't know what it is, but Sajara wouldn't, but I think a little research to, we can figure that out or whatever. But like the pacing of it was cool. It was like enough investigating, enough action. It had that feel of like D&D noir that I really look for in Eberron, because Eberron should have a different kind of a pace and sort of valence to it than a more traditional kind of dungeon crawl kind of thing. And this worked out really well. I really liked it for that.
Awesome.
It reaffirmed my conviction that Eberron is my favorite published D&D setting. So,
since I've run this, I've talked to a bunch of people and I've heard that more often than I would have thought.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Big fan. So, Joe, Kiri being Kiri, and of course ending with another like a potentially complicated relationship or not, whatever. Hey, I thought that was kind of cool, and the I mean, Sajar Dabra basically like accused her of being a method actor. Like that thing was like you don't have to maintain the ruse with me, but I know you will anyway. All right, and that was a great moment, and I'm really liking the rapport that we're developing there. And and Tim Ratong taking any excuse for a coffee break. like even then, no matter how horrifying the situation, manages to squeeze that in. I like that. And and you just like totally leaned into having a magic item that quote unquote doesn't do anything, right? But that is like narratively super interesting, like, but doesn't make you any better at fighting, which is that like playing with people that can make the most of those is a real joy. So thank you for that. I mean, wishes is for us to, but beyond just the simple let's play again. I absolutely want to see the complications that are going to arise from, the hobgoblin crime boss that we've pissed off.
Yep.
And also what the implications of are the patron who hired like that elf that kind of kicked all this off.
Mm-hmm.
Is he involved in that? Did he know what was, like what his deal is?
Right. Right. We still don't know what his motives were.
Exactly. And to look into that, and also just kind of a little more to kind of the idea that we're sort of like low level functionaries for this thing, but we're starting to get glimpses of what some of the power structures over us are, and to see that play out, I'm really looking forward to.
Nice. Retung, Tim.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, it's great. It was so much fun. So thank you to everybody just for a great time. I loved a star for me is that whole thing with the gem that Curie had, and just the way that both of you, so Joe and Lowell, just the way that you did that. And it was just such a cool scene where we are like, right, he's talking to the big bad, and like we're hearing right in that moment where it's just like, are they dangerous? Should we dispose of them? Oh no, I don't think, no, I mean dangerous, yeah. Just that. I think it was a great piece of GMing just to set up that situation.
I think you should give them gold.
Yeah, exactly. And then the way that Joe played into it in exactly the way I would think that Kiri would too. So that whole thing was great. That was a real star for me. Just a small scene, but just so much fun. And I love Jim actually right at the end with the hobgoblin leaning against the wall, right? The hobgoblin tough, just then seeing us and then dashing off. It felt like something that would happen at the end of a season on a TV show, right?
Mm-hmm.
It felt exactly like that. That was really, really fun. And I think that it really just everything about this session, like it's kind of amazing. I feel like it just wrapped up in a narrative way, but still, right, we're still following the dice, but it's just like, it's just that way, like in D&D, like things just work out, right? I think when you have players who are willing to just lean into whatever the results are, and then a GM who really knows how to make the situation fluid and flexible. It was just kind of really interesting how we're following the dice rolls, but still everything just came to this really, really satisfying conclusion. And I thought that was really fun.
Awesome. Curie, Joe.
Yeah. So I think, I had a blast too. And I have this long, and, Jim met my friend Brian when we were in Origins, and he and I have this long standing debate about, he's very anti trad games and things like that. And that's fine, right? I mean, to each their own, but I continue to try to argue, that you can play any game the way you want to. I said, yes, D&D has a reputation of a certain kind of play, I said, and it's possible that there's a lot about it that lean people into that. But I said, but you don't have to play that way, right? And I think we all together definitely showed that, right? I mean, you don't have to be a pack of murder hobos, if you don't want to be, right? And you can play it with all those other things. And I really, that was a lot. That meant a lot to me. It was a really, really enjoyable experience. Tim, I will echo what Jim said. The pretty amazing to take something. I played with a lot of people who would have been like, what, just and just, between the tea and the stuff, I really loved across the whole, not just tonight, but across the whole, the two things. One is just the fun little narrative things, like that. And then using to that point, you took something that most people would have considered as worthless and made brilliant narrative role playing out of it. So that was awesome. And then, Jim, and this goes for both of you guys. I think if I think about this like a TV show or something, all the characters seem to become, early episodes of the season. You go back and you watch like early X-Files, and you're like, oh, like, oh my God, I can't believe that. But then the characters develop, the actors grow comfortable in the skin of the character, and like I don't know if you knew you were doing it or whatever, but like, so Sajara was that character that you had the one-liners, like in every fight, you had that fun little one-liner that's sort of like the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, right? I can't even think of one now off the top of my head, but all the little like banter in the fight that says, that was awesome and everything.
You should have been satisfied with your life.
Yeah, yeah, and then Lowell, I just you made the game with like everything I talked about at the beginning. I give credit to you for guiding us in that way, right? It was really fun, and yeah, it was just great. And for wishes, like obviously play again and see what season 2 brings. And there's a couple things, like there was another voice in that Shard space, right? That we don't know who that was. And so that's an interesting thing that will be fun to maybe, if I'm right, there was the Rust, me, and then another voice, and that didn't reveal itself. And so that's kind of a wonderful, hanging Chad, so to speak. And then, the idea,
it's totally the elf.
That's who I think it's the Lord, whoever that hired, that sent us down there. And then we, it feels a little bit like we potentially discovered or on the discovery of a lost house, right? If you've got two people with the same dragon mark, those are no longer aberrant dragon marks, right? So is there that's kind of a cool, fun, like, how can they possibly have the two? Because if they can't be aberrant, so they have to be a house that people didn't know about. So that's kind of a fun, cool thing. So yeah, no, awesome. Sorry, I'll stop rambling.
No, it's all good.
And I was just, the way it wrapped up, like I was nervous that like, how are we going to wrap this up? Because we missed a couple because of scheduling stuff, but it all fell together, echoing what Tim said. It's just like, so often D&D games can be ruled by roles, but yeah, we all just leaned into it, it felt like, and it felt real natural. So
it was a good time. Yeah. No, I enjoyed what everybody played tonight. I enjoyed the character moments. It was all good. The choices. One of the things that's very interesting, and this is a little bit like 13th Age for me. I don't know what your characters can do. Like, I really don't. And so there are these joyful moments when I see you pull your spells and your abilities out, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's great. Because I put the mastery of those things in your hands so that I don't have to worry about them. So there's a certain joy I have every time I see something new. I'm going to stop the recording.